Today we're listening to Tomorrow's Harvest by Boards of Canada, starting with Gemini. Build up and then kind of break down. I thought it was gonna I thought the beat was gonna drop. Sorry, because that synth came in. The part that sounded very them to me was how you had this big and then you had this. That thing felt very dissonant in the way that they do. But the rest of it felt very 80s to me. What was that? That sample at the beginning sounded like it came right out of some TV program. Suspenseful. I could see that in a movie. The arpeggio, I think, definitely sealed the deal. And then there was that other sample. This. And everything else faded out underneath it, and then it sort of had a solo. And then, but the synths are, a lot of the low end is being filtered out, and then they continue to filter it out. You know, it gets thinner and thinner, like you're going further and further into our atmosphere. Does it feel a little bit spacey? I think it does, actually. That's it. Somebody put this over some footage of Artemis. Do it. The next one is Reach for the Dead. No way. Maybe it's like that. I can't remember. And then something like Yeah, this is different. It is a lot more harmonically typical. It's much more predictable. I feel it is a divergence from their typical sound. Having said that, I like it. This was kind of trip hop to me, this slow halftime groove, but it had a lot of detail in the subdivisions, meaning like the quicker pulses, and then these long, beautiful pads. You know, there's not really a lot of the kind of dissonance that I would associate with their music. But there is dissonance. It's just not the kind. The reason I said no way is because I thought it was going to go to a place, and it did. And it went to my favorite chord, the flat 6. So it was both a sort of like, oh my God, they used it. Because there haven't been a lot of moments like that listening to their music where I'm like, oh, wow, my favorite chord. But also that I could follow where they were going. I don't feel that way normally when I listen to their music. It's kind of a constant like, what? Whoa. Huh? So beautifully put together. This song had something that I think I've felt missing from their other songs, which is a very clear climax. Focusing of energy where it gets more and more intense and you start to feel it coming up inside you like a wave, and you're like, oh my God, is one of my favorite feelings listening to music. So I was super into that. It feels very sad to me, powerful. Next is White Cyclosa. Guys, this is so different. Are we sure this is Boards of Canada? All these arpeggios and is it that it's less sample based? This feels very composed, you know? And sequenced. Wow. Whoa, that feels like the same thing from Gemini. Kind of stuttering out of time. Man, this album is so moody. It's darker in a different way, though. You know what I haven't felt yet? I haven't felt creeped out yet. It's kind of cinematic. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so this is in D minor. There are two little synthy kind of arp things happening. All these. I mean, it's basically D minor. And then what I really liked was that kind of bell. The bell sound was in parallel sixths, which is just a beautiful spacing because it's very, very emotionally vulnerable sounding. It's very pretty, and yet there's this big space between them. So there's kind of this. I always feel a little bit of pain because of how far away they are, like they're separated. Versus if I invert these intervals, it'd be those are the same two notes each time, but just reverse the order, and feel these sound so sweetly together, and these sound like there's just some So that was really, really pretty, and there's such a clear low and high note, and I love that timbre change. It was in 4/4. You know, at first I wasn't sure where that 4 started, so there was sort of this feeling of seamlessness of like, but then that kind of kick started to come in. Just a little bit of punctuation, nothing crazy. It was more driven by the ARP doing, these quicker subdivisions, eighths or sixteenths, I don't really know, but that one also didn't have a chord progression. It was just sort of a drone, There's a little bit of an implication though with those, and then it was like, I think I'm letting the sustain pedal ring out because I like the way it sounds, like all mixing together. There is a lack of unsettling elements. It's so much more crystal clear. And even with that thing in the middle that kind of was the Gemini callback, or maybe the Gemini was doing a foreshadowing, but that was like the only thing that felt a little bit like, ooh, they're trying to ruffle your feathers slightly, but it still just felt dramatic to me. Wow, this is so, I don't know. You know what I expected? I'll tell you, I just realized I expected something like more like Dave and Cowboy. When people are like, oh, it's more accessible or something, I was like, okay, so maybe something that has more like guitar chords and things like that. This is so not what I was prepared for. Jacquard Causeway. Okay, this feels more tapey. What? Whoa. Retune here. Wow. Wow. That's gorgeous. It's one idea that evolves over time. Maybe a sequencer every so often, changing a note, a couple notes, or adding one or something, and onto the sort of that main sparkly part. But there are other sparkly parts that are happening too. And there's a lot of delay happening, which also creates just more complexity. It was in 3/4. And that took me a good 30 seconds to feel. At first, it felt almost like some really bizarre off the grid thing. But then as more and more elements came in, it all kind of suddenly gelled. And I was like, oh, 1, 2, 3. And you hear, but all of these sparkly bits did have a very kind of out of time feeling to them. I'm not 100% sure what was going on there, because it didn't feel polyrhythmic. It didn't feel like they were completely divorced from the timing of the song. But, so it could have been that the delay was set to something like milliseconds as opposed to a note value. That can create that kind of dreamy feeling. It's B-ish minor. You might have saw, I tuned my piano sharp. I'm not sure what was making that bass, but it kind of was doing this like, I think. Then again, that could have been wishful hearing. But that's kind of a quick chord progression, so there's just like, all this cool stuff happening. And there were moments where they would like sort of avoid the home note for a while, and then suddenly it would just appear. And I was like, oh. And then later on, they went up a little higher, and then it went finally to there. I love that shit when it's just like keeps raising the ceiling, and each note feels like a gut punch. It's like, oh my God, amazing. Jacquard is some kind of pattern. I think I have some Jacquard curtains. It's very ornate. Yeah, very ornate. That's so beautiful, man. I think I said this at the beginning, but it did have like a lot more tape quality than the other ones on this. Maybe Gemini still had a lot of tape, but yeah, that and some of the other synths had a little bit more Boards of Canada hallmark tones. I'm also noticing that so far the drums they're still mixed pretty high in general, and I think that's just they just like it that way. But they are, I feel, leaving a little more room for all of this lush harmony to happen than in previous albums. I'm really liking the balance of elements. The next one is Telepath.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I mean, you have to have counting. They have to have some counting.
9, 10. Up and down, I think.
All right, so it's definitely them. So many pads in this. Very retro.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so wait. Oh no, is it over? Oh no, it's over. Scrat. I think I was trying to say shoot and crap at the same time. All fifths. I love that. And it almost feels pentatonic too. But I don't think it actually is. I think it's just a lot of the notes in the pentatonic scale. But this one's not. That one's Dorian. That's a Dorian note. Sorry. That kind of feeling, those pads, I would describe. Excuse me. I would describe it as like a vast space, the kind of pad that you play for outer space or like a desert, some kind of biological wasteland. Just so sparse, so desolate, so you're so alone and small. Those big pads. Also, I think very cinematic. Cold Earth. This is a lot more harmonically quintessential Boards of Canada. so many great things about this one. Telepath had parallel fifths. Remember these? It is a mixture of fourths and fifths, which also just fourths and fifths have a sound to them. They're inversions of each other. Remember when I played those sixths? Sorry. Before? And then I played the inversion. Fifths and fourths invert into each other. So when you mix them all together, you get that, just that vibe. Anyway, so. And then. And I think it was 3 bars in the phrase instead of the typical 4 or 8 or whatever. There's a suspension there. All right, now we're back on track. And I love the tone of these synths. They have a really nice legato kind of portamento thing. You don't hear the attack ever. It's just so they're so connected, and it sounds very retro to me, like science fiction or even science programs. So and they're in octaves. So sometimes it's they're doing this like, and then they split off, and other times it was just down here. Okay, that's so cool. Drums, beautiful, a little more active than the other songs. But again, still a little bit more respectful of the instrumentation around it in a way. I'm going to interpret this as sort of a maturation of them as musicians. Okay, next one I'm not sure I can pronounce properly. Transmisiones Ferox. That sounds science-y. I'm thinking of ferrofluid. Ferox. Latin word? Cruel, wild, or ferocious. And then also Are we changing the channel? We are. Love the texture. Ooh. I heard that synth again. That same kind of retro-y legato synth I was just talking about. Okay, this one plays a minor add 9. That's what that... Was that in like 5? Yeah, I think it's in 5. This one it starts over. I could be wrong though. It might not be like a time signature thing. It might just be something that repeats. You know, it goes as long as it goes and it repeats and it's a sample or something. But it feels like it's going through this a filter that's giving it this chord, which is cool. I want to know how to do that. Or maybe there's a vocoder thing happening. Or I'm not sure. Because it's got a minor bass, I think it has a kind of a severity to it. It feels a little bit cold. It feels kind of serious, you know. And then you add the 9th, which gives it that curiosity and that tension and that suspense, you know. But also makes it almost sound more tragic too. It just like amplifies everything about it. It's so cool. And then, yeah, we changed the channel and a lot of texture. Felt very textured. And then it felt like, yeah, another little song was sort of underneath all of everything. I'm wondering if that was a snippet of something we're about to hear, or if they just like, it's just something that you can never have. Next is Sick Times. They really slow fade out. This one also had a lot of fourths and fifths and things like that. And again, when it's paired with that kind of vast sounding pad, and this one had a little bit of a like a I don't know. But yeah, it feels so cinematic. It feels so retro. This one had obviously a much more active drum groove, active bass, very kind of bubbling, percolating the whole time. Oh, and it had 2 drum grooves. I remember now. They layered them. Something that sounded a lot more electronic, and then another one that sounded a little bit more, I don't know, sampled. Okay, next is Collapse. So this is both of them, the forwards and the backwards, on top of each other. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, that is it. Okay. I'll slow it down. And then back down. I'm not gonna dare take my fingers off these keys. Sorry. Oh, that's wrong. So it does have a kind of a progression. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Similar vibe. It's that sci-fi, that retro, very cinematic. It's all this is a very cohesive album, I feel, so far. But I'm thinking only halfway through. But that's really, really beautiful. I love this one. And it does have a lot of, almost feels like, like solar wind or something. And by wind, I mean, I know that the solar winds aren't like actually wind. But if you were to, it sounds like solar wind, both in that concept of turning data from space into sound, but also like if you were on an alien planet and there was wind, it would sound like that or something. Okay, next is Palace Posy. What? I'm sorry. Shit. I was about to try to analyze it. Kind of. Okay, I wasn't totally into that one until those chords came in, and then that weird vocal came in, and then it all kind of gelled to me. I was like, oh, okay. Also, I think is a little bit of a whiplash from Collapse. It's just such a different vibe. This one's so much more, this one is playful. And it is, kind of the opposite of everything I said about Collapse. It's groovy. It's a little bit of a swing. So it's a little more cash. I think it swings. Maybe a little swing. Just a tad, maybe not, and then it's having a little fun with itself. It feels this vocal is what like, oh yeah, also I like how these there's a ton of syncopation. It's weird though. You know what it is? I didn't love it at first because it felt a little random. It felt a little bit like just a computer made it kind of feeling. Like, but then later it felt so much more human. It sounds, if I had to guess, it sounds like it's sampled from some kind of like disco or soul track from the 70s. It sounds like it's in parallel octaves, and I don't know, for some reason, that's what I'm going to say. All right, next is split your infinities. Hey, we got ARPs. Shimmering light coming in at the end. Okay, drums, first of all, love these. These were very, very slow halftime, halting with lots of up-tempo stuff happening. There's this conflict I love where you got this like that's so slow. And then you've also got these like twice as fast or 4 times as fast tempo-wise kind of things happening in the drums. And you can feel both at the same time. Love that. ARPs. There was, for the most part, there was an ARP that was doing a... I think approximately. And this is also minor key thing. Tons of minor key stuff in this album, which is different than, say, Music Has the Right to Children. And also I think Giugotti, where I was like, yo, there's a lot of minor chords. That's not the same thing. There are just as many minor chords as there are major chords in a minor key. It's about how you use them that makes something feel minor or major. But this is like minor key stuff. And then, so that's why there's, I think, that sort of galactic and kind of more serious tone to everything. Well, to most of these things. That's part of it. Definitely heard a flat 6 again, so I'm thrilled. That one. At the very end, though, all the light came out. And there was this E flat major key thing happening. Sorry. I think it was these notes, maybe it was just these notes. I don't know. And it was so cool because I thought I could hear it under there, and I was like, I think I'm hallucinating. Also, I love the vocal. It almost sounded like it was part of the drum groove at certain points. So that like lack of definition, almost like a human morphing into a machine, is what kind of was going through my head. I'd like this one a lot. I would listen to this one again. All right, next is Uritual. Uritual. Whoa, detuned. Oh, there's that synth again. The retro legato one. Approximately G sharp minor. I do kind of, at some point, It could be like 5 years from now. It could be 10 years from now. I don't know, but I think it would be cool to do a whole cover album of Birds of Canada songs on piano. Because I think, like with Nine Inch Nails, there's just so much underneath the production. When you just pull it out into like a single instrument, it's really cool to hear. Wow. That one's a little unsettling to me. Not necessarily the way that their other ones are. This one makes me feel like I'm all alone when I don't want to be, and I'm like scared. It almost feels a little bit like paralyzing. Like I'm paralyzed, but like I'm panicking, but I'm paralyzed. Paranoia. That's maybe more. It feels very like this pad down below, like it's gonna zap you. Unpredictable. Super fucking high. I think it was all the way up here. Maybe it was here. I'm not sure. That tells you it's minor. And then so it's gonna be. There was one other layer I already forgot. Shoot. Nothing is real. God, for that first second, it felt like Lemaire. Just cause as a third, probably, but it's not just that. Because of the flat 7. Only a snare on the floor. I can't completely tell what is what. Like, there do seem to be some like actual piano chords in there, and then but everything's definitely so tapey and muffled that there were definitely other things, and I'm not sure if I'm combining notes from one track with another. But overall, I'm hearing that kind of harmony, and this has definitely a very, to me, kind of jazzy feeling. I mean, the first moment I was like, oh, it sounds like Lemaire, and that's because it was like this. And this is how Lemaire starts, is on, I mean, it's transposed, but if I play it in the same key. So I just noticed that sound. But, as in I feel like I would. So there's this kind of sweet back and forth. There's no feeling of a tonal center to me that's at least being played. It's kind of, I love this feeling. It's usually 2 chords, and they avoid a feeling of any kind of resolution. So you're just sort of drifting and looping. Drums were cool. I liked how there was no snare on the 2. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4. So that you got this space, and then you got the one accent, but you don't need both. I love drums that do it only on 2, not on 4, or vice versa. Love beats like that. They're so cool. We should do that more. Let's just all collectively do that more, Or you could syncopate one of them. Like Burial. It feels a lot lighter, some of the others. Still kind of galactic, though. Can someone just take all the footage that we have of Artemis all of it, them being interviewed, them talking with each other, them, looking out the window, the images they took, the videos they took, and just like put it to this album or vice versa. Wouldn't that be so cool and so relevant? Next is Sundown. By the way, I saw that Artemis touched down and everything's good. Not touchdown, but you know what I mean. They're back on Earth. I was relieved. Oh, I should do a piano tutorial for this. Or a keyboard tutorial, whatever. I could totally play that. It's such a them thing to do. That's gorgeous. All pads, baby. All you need. All you need are pads. This had a lot of suspended chords. It's a little flatter than this, but that's okay. And then there's this one moment where the chord goes haywire. That one's a little weird, but it gets weirder, definitely. But I think a lot of these are big, spread out, suspended chords, some sevenths, and yeah, all pads. Very, very atmospheric, ambient, beautiful, lost, timeless. That's a cool thing about ambient music is you just feel like you're in one point in time and you're just drifting and there's no forward or back. I love that. Next is New Seeds. That one has some wood mixture. It's cool. This one, I mean, this one's really different than the others in that it has this very, staccato the whole time through this. I almost I almost hear like a sample of a string being plucked. I don't know what kind of instrument, some stringed instrument. It almost sounds like a pizzicato that's been pitched down or something. But it's going dun 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 dun. Actually, I might be accidentally conflating some of the delays with the actual sample, and then there's something else. Actually, even before that, there's a little Morse code kind of thing. So you got these two notes. Oh, okay, it's switching between these two notes. That Morse code thing. And then you get the guitar. I think it is a guitar. Da 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 on this. So you get this nice outline. It's perfect. And then chord change. Flat 6. Essentially have this, and then back. This is our home. And then something higher starts to sneak in that has some of the. And then these beautiful synth pads start to come, and they sound angelic, and they're doing all sorts of minor key goodness, minor key shit. I feel like that could be a good t-shirt. Just minor key shit. So then it starts, and this makes you feel like it's gonna just go to the major version of this, like like that, but it goes, which is in conflict with this chord, which comes in later. So I love that mixture. This would be beautiful on piano. Absolutely it would. I also think the bell has some harmony. Might be some sixths and stuff like that. That would be just so nice to figure out. Come to Dust is the next one. Syncopated, like fifths, maybe reminiscent of, what was it? Alice? No, it's weird. What was it? 2013, the year that Boards of Canada discovered the power of the minor scale. Still lots of fourths and fifths in the synths, the pads, giving it that expansive, desolate feeling. More, galactic arps with ninths and shit. Something around there. A really restrained thud, thud, just giving you that nice kind of very, very slow. It's a backbeat. I don't think I've ever heard this quite from them. Just really simple, but punchy, super powerful, like a big creature stomp, right? Makes it feel epic. There's no way I would ever say that Boards of Canada is dubstep, but there's just like a little flavor. It's a little film on the top of the drink of a little bit of dubstep in that groove. And that combined with the ARP, there's some very sparkly dubstep. Let's just put it that way. And it has a little bit of that feeling. And I could really see a bunch of people in a club like losing their shit to that. It's got so much power. This one also has a beautiful fat flat six, the flat six, as we've been spelling it with PH. But then a little surprise too. And the last track is Semena. What? Mertvykh. Oh, Seeds of the Dead in Russian? That's what that means? Really? Okay. This one's like breaking apart. It's mono. Palpable tension. Betrayal. Or the weight on someone's shoulders, like they have to make a really hard decision. It's gonna put the fate of humanity in their hands. It's like a funeral for a death that hasn't happened yet. Wow. Them sneaking in all these new notes at the end, because it's not really the end. Wow. Totally not what I expected. It was heavy. That's what it was. This was a heavy album. So I loved this. It's so cohesive, and I want to validate the people who maybe don't love it, because it is different, for sure. It is really different. A big stylistic departure, and embedded in that stylistic departure is a departure from a lot of the kinds of harmony that, maybe you weren't acutely aware of being a compelling part of their music. But that's not what they're exploring here. I'll just leave it at that. I think I've talked enough. I'm so glad we did this. y'all have been asking for it, and we've done a lot of boards. Like, I usually don't go through an entire discography in 2 years or however long it's been. It's probably not even been 2 years. Y'all are so rabid. But now I'm foaming at the mouth a little bit too. So I will join you in your excitement for their new release, because fuck, Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to join these listening parties, you can hit up my Patreon. All right, y'all. I'll see you. Bye.